Good evening. This is President Ann Diener. Donald Trump is legally and lawfully deposed since August 8th of 2017, and Trump stole 2016 from Republicans as well as Democrats. He used cross-check, micro-targeting, and Diebold, and worked with the Russian oligarchs to attempt to bankrupt us, but we keep our gold standard and our money back to deliver to the American people. And we approach the audit and the tribunal. And that's something to be taken very seriously. Because all evidence and data is on the ground. We have shell companies that have been operating behind the scenes with Biden and also with, well, Dick Cheney. But a lot of individuals have been basically manipulating the presidency, the office of the presidency behind the scenes. And finally, truth is starting to come out. It was great to see Mattis out. Great to see Murkowski out and actually really campaigning for a real Republican to actually run in 2020. We need to move forward and find out about those 128 buildings, and that's something close to my heart, which are the nuclear components that are installed in the buildings that likely Robert Mercer participated in. It was clear that Bush Carlisle placed nuclear components with those individuals in Al-Qaeda, and they were back then called Al-Qaeda, basically the base where the extraterrestrials, the harmful ones, operated out of. And that was newly gathered information. Basically, those were the extraterrestrials that Dick Cheney was afraid of. And the DOJ, I apologize, but in the background, we found out that you guys were using them or thinking about using those same hitmen that killed the Russian ambassador. And so we need those 18 arrest warrants, and those 18 arrest warrants are pretty prevalent in Russia's eyes. And in reality, insiders know about those 18 arrest warrants. Those are harmful people that encourage Dick Cheney to have more war on terrorism, where he didn't want it. And basically, there's a lot of slush money that gets paid every day. And that is really, it's very questionable to the American taxpayer. And that's $840 trillion that's up for grabs in our audit. And 2016 was stolen. It was stolen from Sanders, and I had to move my little signs around here. Basically, Sanders was one of the proponents of the audit, and I support Sanders for the audit. And the only thing I did not support him for was not taking my presidency sooner. Basically, we would not have had a lot of very nasty stuff that goes on, and had different voices speaking out. And basically, my depositions could have been completed had the Mercer depositions not been stored in Orange County. And it was found out that Stevenson, I guess, was paid $843 trillion. Or $1 trillion. I'm into this audit. Sorry about that. 843,000, very small money. And that was for my magazine a long time ago. And it was sad back then. I built the largest regional military magazine in the Northwest, and started serving at Naval Station Everett. Moved up to NAS Whidbey Island, then Subbase Bangor, Naval Station Bremerton, and then at Keyport, where I found out that they needed an audit. Basically, those individuals were stealing a lot of money over there. And there were auditors there when I went to apply for a job. And so I'm against stealing of all kinds, and I'd rather earn my money. And that's who I am. And I became the president due to deposal of Donald Trump, and I'm the only woman who you'll find in the system that says she's the president, but don't pay her. Give Donald Trump your tax money and pay him. But that's pretty sick. So today I went out and earned a little honest money, just for a little bit of fun, and just helped out a friend. Luckily, she gave me gas money. It's pretty sick what you have to do when you're honest. And it was interesting too in Carlsbad. And in Carlsbad, there was a guy here, and the Justice Department is sending these people. And I'm going to post this out. I don't care. I'm kind of disgusted with the Justice Department. We do not have bankruptcy. We have our gold standard and money back, and gold is global. And we have $840 trillion up for grabs in an audit. Hopefully. And definitely questions regarding Ukraine. And Biden maybe needs to provide some data. And with Nuland and all of them finally on Ukraine. as well as here with All Hands and the cocaine money laundering that's been using the balloon guy. But those are all war crimes, even a war crime here on American soil against American citizens, devaluing your existing rental properties and devaluing your existing homes through laundering of drug money that no one wants to admit to, especially at the Justice Department. But we'll move on to the guy who likely, sorry guy, they're going to dress you up like a lipstick on a pig and turn you into a Christian evangelist. Yep, that's what they'll do to you. That guy who was over in Oceanside, Carlsbad area. And he was basically, he was like a vigilante terrorist guy. They claimed he was a terrorist. He's probably not a terrorist. He has like some 8 balls with him. It's coming from a drug informant. And so he was like kind of a staged guy. So what about those guys that we put in that were basically druggies or whatever to stop the protests or stop people from speaking out? But we need to continue to speak out and actually tell America the truth. And we continue to tell the truth about the election of 2016, that it was stolen. It was stolen using cross-check, micro-targeting, and Diebold. And micro-targeting is Robert Mercer. And maybe we can finally get these convictions made. We do not have bankruptcy. Thank God they admitted they stole 2016. But, you know, I put that on my sign. I don't know. Do you guys want to walk over with me to my stupid sign? It is happy hour time here at the Diener residence. And yes, we did make rent. Thank God. And we continue on. I'm the unpaid president for the last 3 years. You didn't vote for me, but you're kind of stuck with me. And yes, I like Mattis. It's like, I think Mattis is an honorable service member who fights hard for the American people and fights hard also to uproot the negative elements within communist China. And it was interesting, there were reports out regarding Hu Jia and insiders. There's definitely, it's funny, those people that labeled the Uyghurs, and in China, they were not against the Uyghurs. I mean, it looked like it seemed like it, but no, there's the National Security Agency, and that's the agency I'm against, and we're going to replace that agency by the time I'm done. Basically, that agency was the one who created the whole Uyghur scare and had the Chinese persecute them. And in reality, they would never have persecuted the Uyghurs. They were not a threat to China. It was a manufactured threat, and it's who threatened Hu Jia, as well as who threatened Xi. And Xi is very aware of those 18 arrest warrants, that if we made those in America, man, Xi would be our best friend. But will Giuliani make them? Nope. But I'm the President of the United States still due to the proposal of Donald Trump, and I've served for 3 years. So you can go ahead and make those 18 arrest warrants, and man, we'll be ahead of Putin, who wants those arrest warrants too. So we'd be number 1 globally. So anyway, here's our sign. I'm going to zoom down. It's kind of scary to zoom down because I can't really operate the camera that well. But okay, we're going to zoom down to our new sign here. Oops, not very good. There's our sign. Bankruptcy of America stopped. And that was because Trump stole 2016, and it was admitted by Mueller. So we've stopped the bankruptcy because we finally got them to admit that they stole 2016. And we obviously have our constitutionalism, that's 200 plus years there. And there's $840 trillion up for grabs. And that's with our war crimes tribunal. Every single American who has been basically at the airport mammogrammed, fondled. They don't want to fondle you. They have to do it because, Cheney's team and others, we create the terrorism, we screen for it. So how much money would you like back of that $840 trillion? I'd say you'd like some of it, right? American people sitting out there with our audit. It's pretty exciting times for the American people. That's my cheesy sign. So basically, we have the opportunity to take back $840 trillion. We'll not get that whole amount. Maybe like 270. Would you like 270 back? 270 trillion in your pocket, in your bank account? That's our goal with the audit. I think that's pretty exciting for the American people who are sitting here wondering, did I get my EBT card? Well, That's because you've got a president who actually has that same problem. Well, sorry about that. I'm the president that's signed up not to get paid, but I support you every day with my own money, and believe me, I made a little bit of money today to put gas in the car that has been, this car right here, this is called the tank. This tank survived directed energy weapons for 3 consecutive weeks. And basically that was because we outed terrorists in Syria that we wanted to fight, but Dick Cheney's team told us we couldn't. And so they hit my car repeatedly. And we will fight the real terrorists, and we will win. America wins every single day, in my opinion and my mind, and we focus on winning and delivering our money back, and your audit money directly to the American people. We are auditing Dick Cheney, and that is our goal in Congress, hopefully. If congressional members stand up, and one thing you know about Bernie Sanders, I had to move him because he would not take my presidency, and that was terrible. So I kind of rearranged the front here. I've got to give you a front view. Elizabeth Warren fighting back for our audit. We'll give her fighting back. Then we've got Tulsi. She's always fighting against the war criminals. Tulsi. And we kind of moved Sanders to the back a little bit, but he's an expert on healthcare. He is a healthcare expert, but he would not meet with me. And the oligarchs, their housing would have been confiscated. So, but one thing we have not gotten are those hitmen, those 18 arrest warrants. That would be great. Those are the guys who ordered. Basically, they didn't order, but they said, we need more terrorism. And they were forced to create it. Dick Cheney was forced to create it. And those are the 18 arrest warrants that we need. And don't try to get that guy from the weird guy who came into Carlsbad or Oceanside, the terrorism guy, or the guy was named the terrorist, or he's a drug launderer, or whatever he is. Maybe he's now an evangelist. A Christian evangelist. He could be tomorrow, if the National Security Agency has anything to do with him. But he did use drugs, and, you know, it's coming from an informant. Likely I saw him with a little, what do you call it, aluminum foil type thing. That was in a visual that I remote viewed. So, but he's going to clean his act up, and he's not going to bother the people in Carlsbad or Oceanside who are beach-going, educated, and really nice people. And we need to, well, I don't think the neighbors, that they're not involved in drug laundering. They tried to say I was like some weird person. They're just fine neighbors. Everybody here is just fine. But we just need a real government by the people and for the people. And we do need our audit finally to actually have, with a war crimes tribunal, to actually go incident by incident and take a look at the shell companies that Dick Cheney created and not try to get a partisan advantage, either Republican nor Democrat. And then we need to actually divide those funds, those well audited and acquired assets that go into our Justice Department amongst the American people who actually get to participate in our tribunal, which I feel bad all the time when I don't send this message to CNN, because I promise them only on CNN, the War Crimes Tribunal, featuring the American war criminals, including Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, and all the others. They will see them live on TV before their viewing audience, with trillions recovered. That's got to be worth billions, if not millions, in advertising revenue. Millions, if not billions. Sorry. I'm the lady who has the strange telecontrol, and I apologize for that. But I am still your president, and I am mentally fit to serve, despite what people may say, and despite being struck by energy weapons by the criminal who gave someone else $843,000 of my money back in 2001 for my magazine. So, have a wonderful night. I still keep fighting for your interest, and I did become the president. Donald Trump is legally and lawfully deposed, and he stole election 2016, and it has been admitted through the Justice Department, and that narrowly avoided the entire bankruptcy of America, with all American citizens' assets, including Republicans, as well as Democrats, those wealthy Schumer Democrats. Yes, you would have been bankrupted long ago, so support the tribunal and let's move forward. And encourage Donald Trump to actually participate and name. I don't know what he could name, really. I don't know. I mean, he does participate. And it would be nice if we could get to the bottom of those 128 buildings to save 128,000 American lives, who we know back on September 11th were, basically, I'm just going to give a brief rundown to what happened on September 11th. And it was terrible because when I found out that people could not get through the doors, in the World Trade Center in 1 and 2, they could not, they locked the doors. As people were trying to go down the staircases. And so they were banging on the doors, trying to get in and trying to get out. And there were fires everywhere, and the people were scared. And I mean, it was terrible how many people were killed and how many jumped to their deaths. And we have 128 buildings that could happen just like 1 or 2. Like Tower 1 or 2. And see, that I take seriously. I take that seriously every day, and I want to get to our tribunal and our audit to where 128,000 lives can be saved. And that's the most important part to me. Will I go on food stamps and accept unemployment? You betcha, America. I'm your president, and I serve you, the American people. You didn't vote for me, but I certainly care about you. So have a wonderful night.